Welcome to my channel, Raygon Rogue.
Thank you. Very
And
happy to be here.
good. With us today is Lisa, drumroll, representing, guess what sun, where the sun is right now? Cancer. Woo! Yes, the first,
Yay! I'm in my element.
yeah, the first, the first little third of the summer. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
it
Yeah.
is. It's
So
crazy time.
it is. It's a crazy, wonderful time. Cancer is one of my faves, and I just wanted to hear from you, being a Cancer son. How do you feel about being a Cancer? Tell us your thoughts.
I guess I didn't realize that I was so emotional
What?
comparatively to other people. I just
Hmm.
figured other people were better at hiding their emotions.
Cancer sun guys and gals are emotionally vulnerable, sometimes with aloof outer defenses. Cancer is a water sign and experiences life as a wave of emotions and impressions. Some can be like a dream, and Cancer artists create a home in the imagination.
Okay, I guess I'll just start with the creating the home in your mind. Oh yeah, like I just feel very soothed when I'm reading my own work, and I
Mm.
feel at home in it. And I'm like, oh, yes, I'm home. But I don't know. There's something just really safe about the whole thing.
When somebody asks you, like, oh, what's your sign? And you say Cancer, like, what are the things that you're like cringe, like, don't really, like, you're afraid that they're gonna, like, think about you?
Well, I think that there's a big tendency to see emotions as being inferior to logic. And even if
Mm.
that's just a self projection, because I kind of tend to see it that way. So when it comes out that I'm a Cancer, a lot of times I hear that and see people's responses, and it seems like they're responding to as if I had said, I'm illogical.
Mm.
Like I'm I am impossible as a person. I'm gonna feel too complicated, and therefore since the feelings are so complicated, then they're invalid like
Mm.
because I'm just, oh, it's just a Cancer thing. You're feeling these things, no one else is feeling them, so it's kind of like a you thing. And like,
Mm.
so it's like expect this person to have fits where you're just like, I don't know what to do with you. Oh well, and wait till they stop.
Mm.
Like, whereas a lot of times when I'm feeling things, it's out of curiosity. So I'll be curious about something and wonder how it is. And a lot of times the way I engage with that curiosity is emotionally. So like
Mm.
when I study history or I go down just rabbit holes of research for writing my books, then a lot of times I can't even give two craps about what I'm looking at until I become emotionally invested into it.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I was studying the Aztecs, then I imagined living there and I imagined how they must have felt when things were happening. And so then it becomes a very personal, emotional experience rather than
Mm.
just an analytical look at things. And I found that to be like really valuable,
Yeah.
um, and not actually illogical. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. What is your relationship with other signs? Like, let's start with cancers. Like, how do you feel about other cancers? Usually get along with them or
So other Cancers are my same buddies. So
okay.
we're the ones that we talk. I'll say something. They're like, same, same, me though, a lot. So I actually don't have a lot of Cancer friends. I have one Cancer friend, and she's this way. And I don't think,
Mhm.
I've never really actually met a lot of other Cancers. When you're kind of comfortable in yourself, then relating to your own sign is a lot better rather than like, oh, I see things in you that I don't like about me.
Mm,
I think
makes
that there's
sense.
a tendency where you could do that. I tend to make Virgo friends, really close Virgo friends.
Mm,
Like with Virgo, I have two people who are Virgo. I think that's Joy and my friend Oliver. And both of them, I have a very like a very protective feeling about them. Like, we get along quite swimmingly. I think that with both of them, I think I'm a little more flexible as a person, but because of that, I can adapt to like their kinds of particularities. I think my Pisces relationships are very creative relationships. So, because Johnny, Catherine, and Nina are all Pisces, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. With all of them, a big element of our friendships have always been like co-creating things. They get me thinking out of the box friendships, I think.
Cool.
Where, yeah, we can just get going and, I don't know, make something or do something. We're never at a loss for what to do. But I tend to really respect Sagittarius people that I meet who are Sagittarius. I think that they have a really good way of looking at the world that seems pretty balanced. If a little, I was going to say like a little narrow, but I wouldn't say that, I guess. More like they make a lot of distinctions. It seems like they look at people and kind of want to figure them out, and then it's like they're jotting. It seems like they look at somebody, get initial impression, jot down some notes, and they're good with that, and they're not. They don't take that and use it to like judge people necessarily, but they do take it to feel like they understand this person, maybe a little prematurely. But that kind of appeals to me because I like things to make sense like that. I don't know. I like, first of all, I like surprising people with different sides of myself. And then second, it makes me feel safe when I'm with someone like that because it makes me feel like I'm not drowning in emotions. It's because sometimes the world there's so much truth in so many forms that it feels like there isn't actually any truth sometimes, and it just feels like you can get lost. But when I talk to people like that, then I feel like, oh no, like it's okay. They're both very self-aware about what their values are, and they live to that. And I find that very admirable. I know that I can trust them. I think that's the thing. I know I can trust them, so I don't feel like bad about being vulnerable, or I'm never worried that they're going to be like anything other than what they are. I don't know. It's just they're very clear-cut people and I really like that. Very caught up with appearances as a child. She was really into that. She was one of the people that was sick at night during the Trump election. Like, she was so worried about the outcome of the country, and she's very politically involved. Like, it was more about, back then, it was more about like animal rights. That was her big thing, and she would like treat her cats like they were like people. They were people to her, and so she's very humanitarian. It's the same thing that compels me about them, but also repels me about them, which is the very binary way of seeing things. And so in one sense, I feel really safe when I'm with them. In the other sense, sometimes it can be hard to communicate like about seeing things more in the middle. Leo's probably the one that I'm like most intimidated of, for sure. I don't know if this is just me, but a lot of times, like, I find myself able to especially lately, I've been able to understand what people are saying before they say it, or even if I don't hear them say it, just because of how they're moving or how they're standing or what their face is like. Like, reading body movement has been so crazy, especially for like people that I'm close to. Like if I miss something Tommy says, for example, or I'm wearing headphones and I look over, I see he's talking to someone, I can pretty quickly guess what he's talking about and what he feels about it. Or when he's on his phone, I can like look at him and know kind of, oh, this is probably what he's feeling like. Oh, he just won a game. Oh, he just lost a game. Even though it's not, it's very micro expression, but yeah, it feels like looking at everything seems sometimes like you see the outside, it's like an impression, and instantly you kind of feel the deeper underneath it. You're like, okay, I see this, and then instantly you kind of get the emotion behind it. So
wow.
That's something that I found that that sometimes gets annoying actually, because sometimes it's like self-aware to the point of being annoying, like where sometimes somebody will say something and instantly I'm like, oh, they said that because they want to be funny and they think that this joke is going to help them accomplish this task. And or like, oh, this person is saying this like they don't care, but they're really, really care underneath, and it's very obvious. And like, I don't know, sometimes it like makes me feel sad because people are like trying to present, they try very hard to present a certain way, and then there I am being like, yeah, no, I already know. Like, no. I know that you actually do care, or like I know that you're thinking about this. It's like I can read people's thoughts and then they say things and then I'm like, that's not what you were thinking. But like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But a lot of times I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Change. I hate change. All change. I don't like it. It's just bad. Like I'm the person who used to like, I would if I had a really, really good time with somebody and then like I'm driving home or I'm going somewhere else, I'll get choked up. I'm about to cry because the time that I'm having with them is ending and soon will be gone, or some life will go on. And so it's been a very adult lesson for me to go from one job to another job, and then the people that I was talking to every day, they never talked to me again. And that was awful for me. And then like I'm getting a little bit more adjusted to the fact that, people, they come and go in your life and that's okay. I feel frankly a little sad that I'm born in like one of the only individualistic societies in the world, because I could see myself living very happily with extended family all right there, like in the same neighborhood, and we're all like expected to take care of each other. And I feel like that's like how I feel a lot. I really like the idea of having people in my house and they're all talking with each other and it's great. And I don't know, it's just like, oh, especially people who I feel like don't have a place of belonging. Like I especially love when those kinds of people come to my house and that they're there and I'm like, you belong here, like this is your place. So that was a big thing during our early marriage that just ripped me up, was when we had places that I couldn't have anybody over to. Like I could, but they would have to be really close because there was some giant wart essentially in the house in some way. Like, I don't know, the first place we had was an unfinished basement and it was awful and the colors were disgusting and it was just all bad. Like I would find slugs on the floor sometimes because it was so dank. It was bad, but it's what we could do. And so I'm not going to have people over there. And that was just really, since we moved into this apartment with 2 bedrooms, I felt like there's finally space for people to come over. And since moving here, we've made a lot of friends because of that. Like I idealize sleeping on the ground, but when I'm actually there, I'm like sad. I'm like, I miss a bed. Is that I collect blankets. Like I actually collect them. I have so many blankets, and I always get more blankets every year. And a lot of them have meaning to me. Like a lot of them were for certain occasions, things like that. I collect them like I collect angel statues. I have so many blankets, and they're getting out of hand, frankly. But I won't throw them out because I love them each one. And when I go to bed, I have my weighted blanket, I have my heat blanket, and then I have my soft, plushy blue blanket for the top for my arms. So like I have a very particular way that I need to be in comfort physically. And then also, yeah, with clothing, I look for comfort, which is why I haven't worn jeans in forever. I don't wear jeans. I have a no throwing it out policy with, I guess I'm a bit of a hoarder with things from my past, but not too much. It's mostly when there's, like, I have papers from high school or things, little things like I have a poem that Noble wrote for me or things like that where I don't necessarily feel the same way about them that I did when I got them, but like I didn't burn things. You know, a lot of people are like, okay, we're going to get rid of this now. And they like go out and they burn some person's stuff in their backyard to like symbolize their moving on and moving past this person. Mm-hmm. Whereas for me, I don't really think that I have ever intentionally burned a bridge in my whole life. I think that I always keep it there. I never stop valuing what that person meant to me, even if they're gone now. Or because I always think like, first of all, someday this person could come back into your life in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And second of all, at the least it was positive to you then. It was important and significant to you then. I have these little things to like look back on and be like, oh yeah, then it helps me.
I would like to thank you for doing this interview and choosing to represent your Cancer sun. I will put a... Hopefully it's relatable. Oh yeah, I definitely think it will be. And if you liked this video, just hit like and subscribe to my channel. And just so you all know, Lisa is a published author. So we are going to put a link in the description below to her book. So if you like this content and want to hear more from Lisa, click on the link below and purchase her book, Alive. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you. Bye. Bye.